Our atmosphere is changing. Carbon dioxide, a potent greenhouse gas, is accumulating at alarming rates. For centuries, CO2 levels remained relatively stable. The Industrial Revolution, however, marked a turning point. Fossil fuel consumption soared, releasing unprecedented amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere. Today, we face the consequences. The Mauna Loa Observatory, a sentinel of atmospheric change, has recorded a dramatic increase in CO2. In 2024 alone, levels surged by 3.58 parts per million. This brings the current concentration to a staggering 427 parts per million, far exceeding the safe limit of 350 parts per million. These numbers are not mere statistics, they represent a planet in peril. The consequences of this CO2 surge are far-reaching. Global temperatures are rising, ice caps are melting, and sea levels are rising. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes, droughts, and wildfires are becoming more frequent and intense. The delicate balance of our planet's ecosystems is under threat. We are living in a time of unprecedented environmental change. The choices we make today will determine the fate of our planet. We can no longer afford to ignore the warning signs. The time for action is now. Scientists have long warned of the dangers of exceeding 1.5 degrees Celsius of global warming above pre-industrial levels. This threshold, they argue, represents a tipping point beyond which the consequences of climate change become catastrophic and irreversible. For years, this threshold loomed in the future, a stark warning of what might come to pass. Today, that future is our reality. In 2024, global temperatures surpassed the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold for the first time in human history. This milestone, while alarming, is not a reason to despair. Instead, it must serve as a rallying cry for accelerated climate action. Every fraction of a degree of warming averted matters. Limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius requires a rapid and complete transformation of our energy systems. We must transition away from fossil fuels and embrace renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and geothermal. This shift requires a fundamental change in our energy infrastructure, our transportation systems, and our consumption patterns. The challenge is immense, but the stakes are higher. The future of our planet and the well-being of generations to come depend on the choices we make today. We must act with urgency and determination to avert the worst consequences of climate change. The recent surge in atmospheric CO2 levels can be attributed to a confluence of factors, each more concerning than the last. Wildfires fueled by drought and extreme heat have ravaged forests and grasslands across the globe, releasing massive amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere. These fires are not merely a symptom of climate change, they are also a driver, creating a vicious cycle that accelerates warming. Fossil fuel emissions, the primary driver of climate change, continue to rise unabated. Despite growing awareness of the climate crisis, our dependence on oil, coal, and natural gas remains deeply entrenched. The extraction, transportation, and combustion of these fuels release billions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere each year, pushing us closer to a point of no return. The consequences of this CO2 surge are all around us. Glaciers are retreating at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels. Coral reefs, vibrant ecosystems that support a quarter of all marine life, are dying from ocean acidification, another consequence of excess CO2 in the atmosphere. The very fabric of our planet is being altered by our actions. The time for half measures is long gone. We need bold, transformative action to address the root causes of climate change. We must break our dependence on fossil fuels, invest in renewable energy, and protect our planet's natural carbon sinks such as forests and oceans. Climate models, sophisticated computer simulations that predict future climate scenarios, have long warned of intensifying storm tracks in the southern hemisphere. These storms, fueled by warmer ocean temperatures and shifting atmospheric patterns, pose a significant threat to coastal communities and marine ecosystems. However, recent observations suggest that these models may be underestimating the true extent of the problem. Data from the past 4 decades reveals that storminess trends in the southern hemisphere are 2 to 3 times larger than climate models predicted. This discrepancy highlights the limitations of our current understanding of climate systems and the urgent need for more accurate modeling. Accurate data is essential for effective climate action. The discrepancies between climate models and observations can be attributed to several factors, including observational errors, flawed model comparisons, and model deficiencies in simulating sea surface temperature trends in the tropical Pacific and Southern Ocean. Addressing these discrepancies is crucial for improving the reliability of climate projections and informing effective mitigation and adaptation strategies. The intensifying storm tracks in the Southern Hemisphere are a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our planet's systems. Changes in one region can have far-reaching consequences across the globe. We're all connected by the same atmosphere, the same oceans, and the same fate. The time for action is now.